You are now listening to the Be Your Own #LoveGoals podcast with Moe Ari
and Tiffany.
We just want you to remember that every person, regardless of identity, wants these three things: belonging, authenticity, and love.
And after a decade of partnership, we've learned to co-create these things and so much more.
So from wherever you're listening, we're going to go on a journey of becoming our own #LoveGoals. Now let's get into this episode. Hey, it's Moe Ari
and Tiffany.
And this is the Be Your Own Love Goals podcast. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank y'all.
This is going to be a great episode because we have Gennia and Lenny on our podcast today. Mm-hmm. They are a very, very amazing couple. They have a really large social media following, so you probably already know them. But if you have not heard of them, or if you want to become more intimate with their story, we're just going to read their bio here. Then we're going to get right into our episode. So their bio reads: we are Gennia and Lenny, friends, lovers, and partners for the past 6 years. Gennia is a global HR leader, and Lenny is a fitness professional. Our journey together began with neither of us wanting a relationship, but here we are 6 years later, building a solid foundation for what a healthy long-term relationship and eventually marriage will be for us, by us. Throughout our experience together, we've learned to meet each other right where we are in life, even if that means starting over again and again. Being our true individual selves and keeping our faith at the center of our relationship has been the driving force behind our connection. We're excited to have the opportunity to share our story and experiences. And as we once sought after and continue to value representation of Black queer love, our hope is to also provide our version of that for our community. Oh, and by the way, you will often hear us reference each other by our full names, Regina and Melinda. Some things just don't change. Well, let's just get into our episode because it is a jam-packed episode full of love, laughter, and light. They are an amazing couple, and we're just so excited for them to be on our show. Yay!
Hey, y'all. We are so excited. We have some amazing guests turned family on the podcast today. We have Gennia and Lenny here today. How are y'all?
Yay. We're good. Yay. Happy to be here. Happy Friday. Happy April.
Yes.
All the things.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. We are so excited to dive into this conversation. And something we like to do on this podcast is start with the moral of the story.
Yeah.
So we like to take our listeners, our viewers to the end of your story. So we would love to know, for you two as a couple or even individually, what is a lesson that you've learned over time that you'd love to share with anybody listening or viewing today?
Okay, so we've been thinking about this.
Yeah. I'll let you go first.
We were thinking about it a little bit, and I think for me, it was definitely around a very cliched, I don't know, quote, but it's surrounding like trusting the process, right? And just that things take time. And I think like as I reflect our journey, our process of like getting to know each other and having expectations and not meeting those expectations sometimes.
Yeah.
But also just understanding that things take time, you know, like we're not the people that we're going to be 10 years from now. We're not the people that we're even going to be a month from now or a year from now. So like recognizing that we can't rush it. We definitely can't rush it for each other. And then that's very relevant in my personal life and my personal journey too, because I'm super ambitious. I want a lot. My eyes are big, you know, and I feel like with things that God has given me, right? Like vision that God has given me, but understanding that, you know, I don't come from a lot. So it's going to take me time to like build and get there. So like that translates in my personal journey and definitely in our relationship too. So yeah.
That's really good.
No, I know I can't be
Come on. I think for me, it would just really be like, you know, you can't really look at everybody else. Unfortunately, you know, for an example to mimic your relationship off of, because at the end of the day, you know, everybody's different. Circumstances, life circumstances, the situations that you're placed in are different. And You know, for me, I mean, like I try to look after somebody to like have an example, right? Or like how they do this, or how they do that. You know, like I take my parents. You know, I think I tried to.
Yeah.
My parents been together about to be like 45 years. You know, huge blessing, but right, traditional marriage, traditional relationship that doesn't apply to me, right? My parents also had like 8 kids, you know, that
Wow.
doesn't apply to me. So, you know, I can't take the same things that my dad did or my mom did in their marriage and apply them to our life or our marriage because, you know, we don't have 8 kids, you know? So, I think, you know, the biggest lesson would just be, you know, like, yeah, you can probably take little bitty gems from that, but you still have to apply it to how the circumstances are laid in your life and just how the bricks are laid, you know? And then, yeah, same thing. Going back to just me as an individual, I'm my own person. You know, I try to look for individuals to look up after. And at the end of the day, like I'm the person that I want to be the example for. And so that looks new, you know, that looks new. So yeah, I think that.
Yeah. So I'm hearing trust the process and like trust your own authenticity. Like for the both of you all, it seems like your individual journeys have inspired like who you are today and who you all are together and like what you're building together. And that's like really, really powerful. This idea, like, no matter where you come from, you're trusting that your journey is unique to you. It's like the one you're supposed to be on. I think that's really, really meaningful. It really resonates for me in my own journey. I don't know how we got to Atlanta. We probably would be still living in Chicago if I had anything to do with it. But it was it was a necessary pivot on our journey to move here, and so much changed when we did that. So that really spoke to me. Were you about to say something?
No, absolutely. And I think, you know, the name of our podcast is Be Your Own Love Goals. And so one of the reasons we started this podcast is because there are no blueprints. And I fully believe that nobody else has the blueprint for the relationship that you want to create aside from you. And so really leaning into that, owning that, you know, for me personally, and then for my marriage, for my relationship, we're going to be the goals that we want. We're going to create the love and the life that we want. And so I really resonate with that too. And it's like the foundation of how we live and also the basis of this podcast. So you all are just reflecting that. And it's such so many beautiful morals. So thank you for sharing that.
And starting us out with that.
Yes.
So clearly a beautiful love story got you here. Now pretend we don't know anything about you, that everybody listening knows nothing about you. And that we want to hear the beginning. Like, so take us back to the beginning. Before we knew this moral of the story, how did you all meet?
It's like, go ahead and tell.
You want me to tell it?
Yeah, you tell it. I'll jump in.
All right. So we're actually both from Oklahoma. But as we like grew up, I guess you can say, for me, I never really knew that Regina existed or was in Oklahoma. So we actually ended up meeting at a bar.
Wow.
It wasn't a LGBTQ bar. Everybody asked that.
Do people ask that?
Yeah,
it was
like
just a bar, y'all. In Oklahoma.
And actually, neither one of us were planning to go out that night. It was kind of just like a random night. My sisters wanted to go, and I kind of was like on the fence, like neither here nor there. So I was like, whatever. Yeah, like I'll go. I was chilling, and actually, backstory. So she knows my sister. She knew my sister before me. So that was like her segue to me.
Okay, I'll jump in here. So we're from different cities. So we're both from Oklahoma, but we're from different cities. So that's why we really hadn't run into each other throughout like our, you know, childhood or high school, all of those things. But I knew of her because she dated someone that went to my school when I was in high school, or just someone like I knew. And then her sister and I had connected like over social media and had been connected for years, I feel like, and kind of like, you know, when you have somebody who's a friend on something and y'all like each other's stuff for years, but still haven't met. Like that was kind of the dynamic. And yeah, we ended up going out this night. I also was like not supposed to go out, but I had just gotten back in town, and a couple of my friends, we were all like, let's do something. We haven't done anything in a while. We weren't even supposed to go to this spot, but one of my friends ends up getting like a last minute Tinder date. And we like, so she's like, let's push this back. Let's push our stuff back. Yeah, messing up the plan. So my other friend and I were like, okay, well, we'll just go get drinks at this bar first, and then we'll all link up. So going to the bar, and as soon as I walk in the bar, it's a shotgun club. So like I walk in and I see Melinda. Yeah,
like you can see through the whole stuff.
You can see everybody.
So it was like tight up in there.
Yeah, it's real tight. And as soon as I walk in, I see Melinda, and I was like, "Ooh, like target of the night, like target of the scheming." I was plotting. I literally.
But we both were scheming.
I remember like tapping my friend and being like, like yeah, like that's the one tonight for the night.
Wow, little did you know.
Yeah, exactly. So then I think at some point, like I end up saying hi to her sister because again, like we had been on social media, never met each other in real life.
Well, hold on. Because then I was low-key scheming too. Because
this is news to me.
No. I mean, well, when I'm saying scheming, because I'm like, you came in trying to plot against me, but
oh, you thought somebody else? Okay, yeah, that was the next step. But go ahead.
I thought that somebody had walked in with her, who was wearing a jean jacket, and so like I was like, oh, like this girl in the jean jacket. I thought it was her friend, and so because this goes into your part, we go to the bar for like shots, and I see my sister and Regina up there. So I'm like to my sister, I'm like, yo, I was hitting her. And I'm like, la amiga, because I speak Spanish. We speak Spanish. I'm like, la amiga, her friend. And my sister's like,
press. Yeah. Press. I didn't see all this with press. As you tell it, I'm like,
I know, right? I know. Yeah. But my sister's like, no, dummy. She wants you. And I was like, oh. Okay, all right. So,
but I was already off put. Because she I speak a little Spanish too, and so I already knew like what was going on. And I was like, ew, like I don't even know who you're talking about, but ew, like I'm right in front of you. So I was like over it, but also I didn't want Michaela, her sister, to like tell her like, oh yeah, Regina, or she came over here like blah blah blah. I'm like, no, I can do that on my own. So I went up to her and was like, she swears I said this. I feel like I probably said something along the lines of talking shit. Of like, why would you be paying attention to someone else and I'm right here?
This is what sealed the deal on us right here.
Wow.
This has been her ever since. So she comes up to me after we take our little shots or whatever. We all cheers, whatever. She comes up, she's like, so what jean jacket got that I ain't got?
I was like, I don't think I said this. I was drunk, but I'm like, it feels very comparative.
She swears she didn't say this. I'm like, I'm going to the grave with this. My story has been the same for the past 6 years. I could see myself
saying, like, not you talking about somebody else. And I'm like, here. Not that she even knew me.
This
is
what
like,
this girl said.
Either way.
So I'm like, I'm holding my beer. I'm like,
nothing to say.
Starstruck. Had nothing to say. I was speechless. And I'm like, what's your name? So what's your name? Like,
because we hadn't interacted. Like, she really, like, we hadn't interacted before that point. So anyway, we ended up talking that whole night. We was really kind of all over each other.
Wow.
Yeah, just kicking, chopping it up for the rest of the night. And then I needed to go to the bathroom at some point, and I was like, the bathroom line was like really long. I was like, well, you know, like it's been real. Like I'm about to go to the bathroom with my friend, blah blah blah. And she was like, I'll be right here.
I'm like, come back right here. Come back.
Yeah.
And when I came back, she was right there. We ended the night, exchanged numbers. I put my name in her phone, like with the ring.
Just all these emojis.
Yeah, all these
flowers, kisses, ring, all this thing.
And she deletes them. I remember seeing her like deleting all of that and like doing her own thing. I don't even know what she put. But yeah.
I kept the sunflower.
Okay. I kept the sunflower. A sunflower has been a thread in our relationship. So anyway, that was the end of that night. And we ended up texting, like really kind of texting. Dry. Yeah, it was dry. Like the next week we were kind of texting. But she did end up asking me to go get drinks like the following Friday, something like that.
Yeah, it was a week. It had been a week. Yeah. When we finally caught a draft of conversation. Yeah. I asked her out for drinks and
And that whole day we didn't talk. Like, I don't know what it is about that. Like the day of something supposed to happen, like we didn't talk any at all. Like all the way up until our date. It was like a "Are you here?" type thing.
We built the suspense.
Wow.
Yeah. And so we met that evening, and I remember as soon as we met, she was kind of giving me a warning, like that she would have to leave around 11. And mind you, it's like 6 o'clock.
Being, mannerable. Like, hey, I might have to leave.
And I don't care. That's like 5 hours from now. Like, you think I'm still gonna be with you in 5 hours? And 11 rolls around. 11 rolls around, and she's like, "You want to come with me to the next?"
Yeah.
She was worried about being with me for 5 hours. We didn't. We met at 6, and we didn't leave. We ended the night at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like we driving down the highway, making out,
kissing, in love already.
Yeah. It was a lot. But we had a wonderful first date.
Yeah, we hit it off the first date. People were asking us like, "Oh, is this your girl?
How long have y'all been together?"
Wow.
Like, this is our first date.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, needless to say, we met at a bar, got drinks, and now we're here. Yeah, neither one of us was expecting, this, but we're here.
Yeah.
We're grateful for it.
Yeah.
Wow. I was on the edge of my seat.
Were you? I feel like it took a long time.
No, this is a good story. This is what you call in dating, I guess the relationship therapy world or the dating expert world, we call that a meet cute. It was very, very, very cute. Had us really sitting there with anticipation, like what happens next. Now we see you all together today, so I know y'all got together. It just was like, wow, what happened after that? And so I really love that. From just listening, I can tell, well, one, I get to see you all on social media. I've met you all in person. So I can tell you all have a lot of passion for your relationship with one another. There's a lot of physical intimacy between the two of you all in present, like in physical space together, but also like when we see you all online. So that passion seems like it was there from the very beginning. That's what stands out to me from your story. What about you, Tiff?
Well, every time we ask people their "how did you meet" story, it's always so funny because it's like, you gonna tell it, I'm gonna tell it, and then it ends up being like 3 different sides to the story. So I really relate, Gina. Huh?
I said mine's gonna be the same.
Yeah.
They've been consistently different.
Yeah. That's what I say. They've been consistent. And Gina, like you were saying, that even recalling different things that you said or not, you like, did I really say that? I think I have those same moments in our story. Like, man, I was on something else if I was saying that.
Exactly.
But it really speaks to how authentic you all were from the beginning. So for you to even go up to Lenny and say, "What does Jean Jacket have that I don't have?" It was a level of comfort that existed from the beginning for you to even, put yourself out there like that in this very authentic, sure, confident way. And you drew her in.
So you're going with her story,
but that's her. But that really describes who she is.
I am. I can see myself saying it was just the word.
I can tell.
And that really drew me in. Like,
it's not, Gina. It's not that far fetched.
It's not hard to believe.
So I'm gonna lean on that one.
I know. I came up and said something like basically that she had me fucked up. Like, what are you talking about? But,
absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It was a good time. Like our early, like in infancy of our relationship, it was so much chemistry. Like we could feel the chemistry.
You would have thought we was together for a long time. It was just genuine. It was just cool. It was easy. Like
when people say honeymoon stage, like we was definitely in la like just and wow, like we're like probably our entire first year was very much that, like just very
bubbly.
Bubbly.
We're
arguing, but we don't want to argue too long because like when it's real easy to get over shit, like that type of vibe. It was good.
Okay, so I have 2 questions for you all. Because you're starting to get in what we call in therapy the fall from grace, which is like when you leave the honeymoon, it can feel like this huge jump. Now, I can kind of remember what our first one was. And we talked about it here on the podcast. Basically, in short, we did a Valentine's Day together early on. It was like probably our first one. It might be
or
our first one together in a
second.
relationship or second, but we've known each other for a couple of years, so we've been close. But basically I did all these things, but I didn't get the chocolate covered strawberries. I took her to a hotel. Like I decorated. She did all the things she wanted to do. She was like, the chocolate covered strawberries though. And we just argued. And I was like, what is going on?
Yes.
We resolved that. But that was my first moment where I was like, oh, it's a relationship. Like we gotta talk. So my first question is really about when that happened for you. And my second one, which we can come back to, Tiffany's gonna hold me accountable, but she knows I'll forget, is like if you had this level of connection in previous relationships. So we can start with one and go to the other. But those are my questions I'm throwing out there right now.
Our fall from grace. First of all, I hope you've been on your chocolate covered strawberry.
Oh, I
never missed it. He never missed it. If he don't get anything else for Valentine's Day, it's chocolate covered strawberries.
All right.
Even if you don't ask for it, I'm bringing them out of spite. Like, remember that time?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it the cookie at your apartment in Moore?
Tell me about this. I kind of remember this, but tell me. I'm like, very forgetful.
I kind of resonate a little bit with the chocolate covered strawberries, but it's like not. I don't know. It's a thing. So we were dating, and at this time, I was like, I was at your apartment pretty often, and we ended up. I think this is when Shatoya came over. We ended up kicking it. One of my friends came over. We was kicking it, whatever. I like chocolate chip cookies, and so I had got some Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookies. Or maybe I don't know if my friend was there or not. I don't know, but I wanted her to make the cookies. Do you remember?
It's coming back to me. Keep going. That's probably you're gonna be embarrassed about.
I mean, I wanted her to make the cookies, and I think I had already cooked. I think she already cooked, and so I was like, she wasn't trying to make the cookies, and so like. It kind of broke my heart because I was like, yo, I really wanted you to make the cookies. And then we ended up getting into it and we were talking at each other. And I think while you were cleaning up, you just wanted me to come and embrace you. After, like later on after we talked about it. But in the moment, we kind of were just, like, I was pissy because I wanted the chocolate chip cookies. I was just making them on my own.
The nerve, as I'm thinking about it now, like, girl, please.
We're mature, just back then. But,
I don't honestly, I don't remember the details of that. I was thinking, I don't know if this was a fall from grace. So I don't know if we have like this one moment, but definitely like moments that kind of just expose, right? Like, like that we're exposed to our flaws and just things that are like, oh, like, you're not perfect at all. Like,
this ain't as bubbly as what I think it is.
And even on my birthday, like my birthday was probably the first time that you disappointed me in terms of like,
I can see that.
Yeah, so on this was just months. We weren't even together then, but because
we met in March.
We met in March. My birthday is the end of May, and I had I was having a celebration at my house with all my friends, blah blah blah, and she was supposed to come. I mean,
I had left to go home, so
she was already with me. You might have been even helping, like doing stuff that day. I don't know, but she had to leave to go home and then come back.
And I live like 45 minutes.
She already lives far.
Like 45 minutes.
So, long story short, it took her a long time to come, and that pissed me off. And I kind of was beating around the bush about the time.
So I had a bad, I used to have a bad, like my communication. Tendency to like be upfront about like, like my timing
and that pisses me off. Like if you're gonna be late or if you're gonna, it isn't even a time thing. It's more so just like being communicative. What's going on? Like right, like you said you was gonna be here, so if you're not gonna be here, like what's the update? Like, and where the fuck are you?
I used to. I'm on my way, but I ain't really left the house. I'm not even
right. And even with other people, like with her parents or just anybody, like when we're doing something, I'm like, no, tell them we're an hour out. Like we're not gonna do this.
real about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
but what I was trying to do, I was trying to surprise her because my brother was doing a little cake design. You know, like so that's why I was like, I'm on my way. Like,
And
you know,
she was
just
thinking
trying
it
to.
isn't going to be a big deal because of this. Like, oh, I'm like, oh, like, yeah, she
Yeah.
didn't know me well enough. Like, it's still like, girl, I
Yeah.
don't give a damn about the cake.
She
Like,
was pissed.
I was
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
got over it.
yeah, I brought in the cake with the candles, and that was a good.
Yeah.
But I was pretty upset.
Yeah.
And then probably another
Yeah.
big moment in terms of like us and a feeling of like, is this actually going to work? Like probably our first exposure to that is when I was abroad. And we were at home.
Okay.
Oh, when I was hurt.
She was hurt.
Yeah,
she was hurt mentally and
Yeah.
physically.
sick.
And I left to go abroad with my friends, like on New Year's Eve. And what did you get mad about?
Yeah.
She was mad about something. What was you mad about? I was dancing with somebody.
She was dancing with somebody. So, you know, like Gina can be a little flirty. Her personality is
Yeah.
a little flirty.
And that's been consistent. That's the thing in our relationship. Like, just my personality, like me being like that. I'm probably just a little bit more outgoing. I'm chatty. I'm this and that. But all of these things, like I've been, right? Like that's just a lot of who I am.
Now, granted, and I appreciate that about her, right? I've had to work through. It's just because of like past relationships.
Right.
That's why I've had this bad view on the flirtiness and viewing it as like, you know, not just her just being who she is, which she's been consistent, right? And so I was a little upset, you know, again, immaturely. We was arguing about that, and that was probably a fall from grace for sure. One, we're in separate countries.
Yeah.
So
oh my gosh.
And that's annoying too, because it's like, damn, I'm on a trip. Like, you messing up the vibes on it. You know, like that's the worst time to argue. Like, we're already apart from one another. But it's also like, I'm trying to enjoy myself, and you should want me to enjoy myself. Like, it's a mess.
We ended up getting through it though. You know, I had to check myself. I had to check myself a few times, but that's the that's the humility you have in a relationship. The awareness. So,
and also some of it has like, you know, like what are our standards, right? So it was one of those times that it's like, oh, okay, like I don't know what you were used to and whatever I was used to, but there is somewhere that we have to meet in the middle, because even though I do have this personality, it's like, okay, well, are there things I should reel in, because I haven't been in a relationship like this before, like so for each of us it's that give and take. So it was probably the first time that we, or one of those times we encountered that early on.
Yeah, you are starting to get at that second question I had, really about your previous relationships and how that if those relationships were anything similar, it sounded like they weren't. This was one of the first relationships, if not the first relationship, where you all felt like this.
She always says it. She's like, you have exes?
There were people. You can start.
Yeah. Okay. So wait, what was the question? Well, did we have any relationships like the one we have now? Kind of like that?
Different.
Yeah. So no.
No.
I'm gonna say a strong no, just because a couple of things for me. Just I battle with like self-identity issues a little bit, and so really showing up as who I am in my, like I wasn't doing that in my past relationships. Like I'm trying to be somebody else, right? Being is cool. Like, just all the things. Cheating, moving around, like just all the things. Being with Regina has really shown me like, yo, like I really have a heart. You know, I have a big heart and I have a lot of feelings, and it's like tap into that, you know, tap into that. And so for me, I can say like I'm fully tapping into that right now. And I didn't do that before. Right. And if I did, I probably tried to like shut off my feelings or try to put my guard up for whatever reason, you know, but also too, it could have been like, they weren't for me. Right. Or they weren't for me in a sense, like to bring this out of me. Right? For real.
Crack that little heart open.
Yeah, no, for real. Ding, ding, ding.
I love it.
But so yeah, no, it's a hard no for me. This is the first time that I've been in a very healthy relationship. Where I'm able to create the blueprint, right, and also just be myself. So
oh, that's beautiful.
Okay. I mean, if I'm being serious, like I joke around like that, but also like I really wasn't in any long-term relationships before Melinda and I. So I think I've probably consistently been myself, but in terms of just like, I don't know, like really relationshiping, this was the first. So
yeah,
I can't say that anything. I mean, I've just, like was in situationships or just talking to people, dating, like, but nothing serious. So this was the first time that, like, okay, I'm in something serious. Like we're actually, and that has come with like different challenges for me, or just like commitment things. And I'm just like, oh, this is a lot. But yeah, I don't know if that answers the question. But
it really does. Thank you. Yeah, it sounds like this relationship has been at first for a number of reasons for both of you all. And I appreciate you all being so transparent about how you all navigated different challenges that came up early on. It gives a lot of people who are listening, I imagine, a lot of hope that when you see anything early, this proverbial like fall from grace doesn't have to be like an end to that honeymoon. We like to believe that the honeymoon can just kind of go on and on. It just kind of takes a different form. You do it in different iterations. Yeah. So I love that you all were transparent about that shift from like being a very new couple to getting into the weeds of like, okay, we can still have the honeymoon vibe. It's just gonna come with some extra work, and we're gonna get through these things, and we're gonna do that together. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's something that we like a reoccurring theme that we talk about, like, is the work, right? Within the relationship. And the willingness, right? So you got to be willing, right? You
got to be willing.
There can be like those fall from graces, but if you're not willing and to one, like, accept your partner for who they are, but also willing to work
and grow and shift and
be patient and all those things, and like that'll be a one-time honeymoon phase. But if you want the honeymoon phase to continue to come and go, because that's what it's going to be. It's not always going to be the honeymoon phase. Like, so yeah.
And I mean,
I love it.
Everything that love gives you, like a lot of it is through those challenges, like both like individually and together, right? Like the growth and the things that we're exposed to and what we've learned about each other and from each other. Like that's a lot of that has come from these challenging times, of course. Like
wow.
So like it's powerful. The honeymoon stage is really fun and it's cool, and it's crazy like to feel chemistry like that. I think like that was cool for us, and it was also weird sometimes like when other people feel like people will comment on that, like that type of energy. But it's also nice to like be able to navigate beyond that and go into these times where you don't feel the chemistry, but you're still here because like you're invested and you're committed and you're willing, and you have this person that you want to do life with. So it's like, well, what is taking this away, and is that a bad thing, and what does this mean? Like it just exposes you to this new world of things.
I'm gonna actually let Tiffany talk because I can keep going just feeling how profound that was. What love gives you. You said like what love gives you is a part of the process, and I just thought that was profound.
It really is. And listening to you all talk is just a confirmation of what we see online. I feel like when I see you all's content, every time it comes up, first of all, I'm like, oh my God, they're so cute. I love the intimacy. But more than anything, there is this level of intentionality. Every single piece of content that you all put out, every story, every post, every reel is just so... You can feel the intention, whether it's to inspire, whether it is to just be positive or just show all of the relationship, like just really being transparent. And so that is very apparent from the beginning, how intentional you all were in even navigating these challenges and seeing these challenges as like opportunities, rather. Like, okay, this is coming up. This feels like a challenge. We need to work on this here, or just understanding the importance of the work. I feel like that's the thing that we have been very, very intentional about. I think Moe being a therapist has really helped. I always tell people when we first got together, I was like, being married to a therapist is like a good thing and a bad thing, because he has all these tools, but he's always like, calling me to be better and be high, go higher, which is not a bad thing. But when I'm being stubborn, I'm like, I don't want you to tell me that, okay?
And there's space for that too.
Yeah. So I just appreciate you all being so intentional. And I guess that leads me into a question of, how did you go from, okay, I am like really falling in love with this person. Like I am making out with them driving down the highway, right? To the decision to get married and to really like blossom and move and all of the things. Like, how did you put that intention toward you all's future together?
I'll let you go.
Okay. 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 So first of all, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for seeing us. I'm glad that we, that you can feel that intentionality. We try to be intentional and just real, because this is honestly like navigating love is like one of the hardest things that I think anybody can do, romantically and platonically, like in a family. Like, it's hard. It really is. Like, I never shy away. Some people are like, oh, whatever people say about saying hard. And I'm like, this shit is hard for me. Yeah, I don't know how it is for you, but it is hard sometimes.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And like, same, all that back to you. Like, we were talking on the way over here and saying the same things about you all's posts and you all's content and just you all's love. So giving that love.
Thank you.
Honestly, when it came to like the shift, you asked about the shift between like being in that lovey-dovey phase and going into like marriage.
Making future decisions, like whether you were going to get married, like where you were going to live, where, obviously you all don't live in Oklahoma anymore. So like making all of these decisions, how were you able to remain intentional, or what did that process look like?
Yeah. Well, I'll have to admit that some has been intentional and some has just been divine and some has just been like we stumbled into things. I think we're very blessed girls. And again, like individually and together, like when we first started dating, we really didn't have any plans on this being something long. Like we said that to each other, like, she was about to get into her pro career, like she was graduating and wanted to play basketball professionally. And I was honestly trying to get into my whole career.
Yeah.
Let me turn this off.
Sorry. I joke. I've never said that like that.
That's good. It's really good. That might be one of the clips for social media the whole time.
I've never said that. But no, in all seriousness, like, I just never had that phase in my life. I still have it, sadly, because I got scooped on up. But I was like ready just to have love. I got scooped on up.
You fell in love.
I did. I fell in love. But yeah, I was ready for that in the summer. And so, yeah, like it just happened though. Like I remember us talking and being like, oh, like this is a little more serious. This feels like something that we're grateful to have had if it does stop and we need to go our separate ways, but also like it feels like something worth exploring and like holding on to. I think some things we've just stumbled into. Like like a year after us meeting, like I wanted to own a house. Like I was really adamant about that. And I was like, at that point we were practically living together. So that was like, you in or you out. Like this is what's gonna happen. You need to put some money on it. So we got a house. And it was the best decision, like one of the best decisions, even financially now, that we could have made at that time. And then what? I mean, we were just, everything wasn't so intentional then. Like,
but once because I think we just wanted to, we decided to be in a relationship, and then kind of like you said, everything just kind of happened.
Yeah, and it happened fast. I will say that too. Like things kind of happened really quickly. And we're not, that's what I was going to say. We're not married. So, we're not married. You want to?
So, well, yeah, go ahead, lead it, and then,
Okay, so what? You proposed to me in 2019. So we met early 2018. Proposed at the end of 2019.
Beautiful.
Which was really cool, like beautiful.
Yeah.
This whole proposal, like we were in like very much still in that like lovey-dovey phase.
Yeah.
But we already knew that we would have a long engagement because she was still at that time playing professionally and going back and forth between Mexico and home.
Wow.
I had just I had gotten a job opportunity that would put me in a rotational program, and I would move like wherever the roles were is where I would move, and that's like our current state. I'm out of the program now, but that's why we moved to Tampa. That's why we moved up to Brooklyn. And so again, like some of those things were more divine, like divine placements in our own journeys. And it's just like, well, we together, so like let's do this. But in terms of our engagement, like now, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
go ahead.
What was you gonna say?
I don't know.
I love it. Y'all are so cute.
I'm trying to make sure I'm grounded in your question, though. Can you repeat your question?
No, you're
doing a great job answering.
Okay.
You answered it. So you started to talk about,
what made us transition into
right. And so then you were leading into, you all's engagement and where you are now. But it sounds like a lot of it was. Yeah. It sounds like some of it was like divine timing. Some of it you kind of happened into, and some of it was intentional, but it was a combination of all of those things.
Yeah, like so the moving, to wrap up kind of what you were kind of summarize what you said, like the moving was intentional because her job, like we didn't always say like, oh, we're gonna move here, we're gonna move here, we're gonna move here together. That was because of work, but we were at home, we were in Oklahoma for probably like what 2 years of our relationship.
Yeah, we didn't move until 2021, so more than that, 3 years.
3 years of our relationship. I always knew, like, when I once I met her and we were dating, like I always knew, like, this is my person. This is who I really see my life with. And I think that's really, I know that's what prompted me to propose to her, because I'm like, this is it right here. Like, I got everything I need.
And also, when you said that, it reminds me of like when you said you prayed about us in general, like really early on.
Yeah. So,
that's so sweet.
So, right. So we were talking, and then it transitioned to us getting in a relationship. We had decided, like, okay, like we're really doing this. We're actually being with each other. Regina told me she loved me, and this is before, like we were trying to decide if we were going to continue on or not. And when she told me she loved me, like, I felt that. I resonated with it. Like you see me and you support me, and you just like a damn good person, man. Like, and I love you too, right? And I love you too, and I genuinely meant that. But before that, I remember, because of my previous relationships, I'll never forget this day. I was at my internship, and there was like this pond, and I was walking around it, and I was like, all right, Lord, like I was just talking to God, like out loud. And I was like, all right, like if this is my person, if this is, who you want me to be with, like I'm gonna clean my shit up. Like, like I'm gonna do better. Like I'm gonna really, like, just stop trying to act like a hard ass, like just doing the most, right? Because I couldn't see myself doing that to Regina, right? Like, acting that type of way towards her, like not being me with her. Because she shows me her true self. She gives me all of her true self. Like that's all I want to do when I'm around her, And so,
literally, like really doing away with like these things that you have been doing. Because she never really, even when she would speak about those things, I'm like, oh, like she never showed that to me anyway. But like, kind of like really talking to God about doing away with that in general, like as she moves forward our relationship.
And so, like that really, I feel like ever since then, like, he's just, God been like, all right, this is it right here. But it's allowed me to grow, right? Our relationship has allowed me to grow. So from there, I was like, nah, like this is my person. And that year, beginning of 2019, I'm like, nah, like this, like I'm probably gonna propose to her by the end of this year. Ended up coming back from my basketball season. We won a championship, so I'm on a high. Like, get the ring, da 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 da. For real, like, and she said yes and stuff. And this is actually probably, I don't know if we're probably going to go into it a little bit.
Yeah.
This is the first time we're really like sharing this, but
and a lot of people have asked us too, like,
are we still engaged?
Did y'all get married?
Yeah. So yes, we did get engaged. Yes, we are, I guess, still engaged, you can say. But kind of like Regina said, we plan to have a long engagement because of moving and traveling. But I think for me, right, I talked a little bit earlier about like the example of love from my parents and stuff. And right, like I feel like also too in Hispanic culture and in general, right? Like I feel like people our age, like the tradition or the thing is like, all right, you find your person, you get married, you have kids. Like that's the blueprint, right? That's the blueprint you should be following. I probably was, I know I wasn't financially, I wasn't prepared for this wedding, for this, future. And because it's like, one, we're also in a, same sex, we're going to be in a same sex marriage and not a lot of people support that. So we're going to be the ones paying for it. Right.
We would be the ones paying for it anyway. Cause our parents, we're not well off, we don't come from well.
True. And so, but then shortly after that, I ended up injuring myself. Career. I ended up stopped playing basketball. Right, I had this whole plan in my mind, like, oh yeah, like I'm about to try to go play overseas, like in Europe, get more money, X, Y, and Z. Like, right, you have this vision in your mind, and then boom, life just fucking hits. Right, and it hit me pretty hard because like that was my life, that was the goal, right? And so that really just, I know, right? It really set us back. Set me back because it's like, damn, like what am I gonna do now?
And the pandemic in general, that was also like
the pandemic too.
The pandemic, like right after that.
And so that really, but looking back on it, everything happens for a reason. Firm believer in that. And it really allowed us to focus, take a step back, take a beat, right? Like, yes, we love each other, right? But marriage isn't the end goal, right? That's just a celebration of love.
Yes.
And so for us, it's like, we have a lot to work on. I got a lot to work on as an individual person, before if this is who I want to be with. Not saying you got to be perfect, right, before you get married and X, Y, and Z, but you gonna spend the rest of your life with somebody. You got to be willing, right, to look at yourself in the mirror, like, and be able to say, like, okay, you fucked up to that, Or if Regina tells me something about myself, I got to be in a space to have some type of emotional intelligence to accept what she's saying and not just be, out here wilding, whatever the case is. But so I took that as God's way of like, for real, setting me back, like, hey, like, we got some stuff to work on, before we get to this marriage, right? And for us, it's just been like, we're building our foundation, we're building our family, we're building what we want it to be, and then like marriage will be the celebration. I don't know if that was kind of long winded, but
no, it was good. I don't really have anything. Well, let me not even say I don't have much to add because it might. So like we got engaged. What, like 2 years into our? Well, no.
We met in 2018.
We met in 2018, so like a year and a half after meeting. And so when we say like we already planned for that long engagement, we were thinking like at least until the end of my program. And so I graduated my program last year, so it really been until last year anyway. But in the midst of that, like between engagement to last year, like so much happened and transpired in our relationship. Like tons of challenges, tons of things. And honestly, even when we got engaged, like I'm not a big like, oh, I want to get married. Like I had never been that girl in general. So while I was excited, and of course I said yes because I do know, like, Melinda, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. It was like, but I did. I had nuts, and I'm very like, I don't know, like I'm a realist. Like I feel like I'm very logical. I can be direct and blunt, but also I want to like. I make space for like how I feel and just the truth of it all. Like for me, and I'm like, we're not ready. Like we're not ready for me. For me, like some people, cool, like that. They all these things. They get engaged. They get married the next day, or they go like all of these things. And I'm like, that's cool. But for me, I know like the type of feelings and pressure because even getting engaged brings a certain type of pressure. Like,
Mhm.
and I feel like I've seen this a lot. Like people recently who have gotten engaged and like a couple months later, they're not only not engaged, but they're not even together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does that transpire so fast or even getting married really quick? And they're, and I mean, I'm not even trying to say it in like a like judgmental way. I'm just truly curious. And I think about some of my feelings, and just after you're engaged or maybe even after you're married, when you get into an argument, how it feels very like more dire than if you're just dating.
You're right.
Like, damn, I
gotta spend the rest of my life with this person. And now it's like, how the fuck are we gonna work this out? And it almost makes things even more rigid. And you know, like I just think we had so much to still work on through this period. And some of the things that we went through, had we already been married or had we like really been like gun-ho, like I think it would have broken us. You know, I think honestly it would have broken us. More so than it did with us, like really like putting the engagement at the back of our head and saying like, we'll pick this back up, but let's focus on really building a solid foundation. And for me, that looks like a lot of things. Like it looks like, our emotional intelligence, like us both being in therapy and taking care of ourselves.
Yes.
Value in that.
Yeah, value in that. It looks like getting stable financially. And it isn't like, you know, there's also the theme on social media, like, oh, I need somebody to be at my level, or I need like you have to have it all together. And it's not that. Like that's not what I'm leaning towards, because obviously we weren't that when we got into a relationship.
Right.
But it's that alignment, right?
Yes.
It's that alignment that
we're talking about the same
we're
thing.
on the same page. We're headed in the same direction.
Even if we might be at two different life experience levels.
And
because that's
we
what
are.
that's
Like we came in on very different life experiences. Both of us didn't come from much, but like I think my being out of sports, like one, she was just very sports focused, and you know, in sports they kind of just take care of you, and they
you really not doing nothing but focus on the sport. And so I really didn't have a lot of, I mean, life skills outside of that. Now, don't get me wrong, like it taught me a lot to be able to apply it to life, but you know, things like paying bills,
stuff out, like
living on your, like actually living on your own. And Regina had already experienced a lot of that coming into our relationship.
So it still looked like a period of like coming together. A period of coming together. And it's like we're probably, I feel like just now to the stage that would feel for me like, oh, okay, like now I can see this a little bit more. And I feel like
even me being comfortable and confident, like, no, like now I have a plan. Now I can see the plan, like for real. If something was to happen. Right?
Versus like, oh, I want to get married.
I want to get married.
She was going off of pure emotions.
I was. Look, thank God had to sit me back a little bit, but I think I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful that we're in a space to be able to talk about that.
And it takes humility, like to be in a space like, we got engaged, but also like it's okay. Like we're not prioritized. It's not the priority in our relationship. Like our relationship is the priority in our relationship.
Absolutely.
Our well-being. It's just us. Like us being okay is way more important than any like expectation that people have on that.
You all have a lot of well, I really appreciate you all sharing that. You all have a lot of strengths as a couple. It's clear that you all have a lot of foresight to be able to even see, like, we have things that we want to work on first. We really relate to having a long engagement. I proposed to Tiffany about a year into our relationship, and she was like, okay, yes, but not right now.
No.
So it was what, 4 years later or something?
You proposed in 2015?
Probably.
And then we got married in 2018. So
we had our time.
Yeah, but I was definitely like, no. Well, I said yes, but these other things need to get worked out before. Like, I want to be in my joy in our engagement. And I want to be like, no, I don't want to experience pressure or stress. Like these things for me need to be present in order to lean in that way. And it was a thing that we had to work through, but I just want to encourage you all. And it sounds like you all are in a really great place with this, that it's totally fine, totally okay. Like,
I love that you said the marriage is a celebration of the dream. Because your relationship is the dream. You're already living in it. The marriage is like a celebration of that. I'm like, I'm getting chills. I'm like, yes, you're living in your dream, right? Like, it's just so beautiful to witness.
Yeah.
And you are helping so many people by being an example of what it's like to focus on laying the foundation to the home brick by brick, so that you can live in your dream home together, essentially. Like your life together has to be built layer by layer. It's not going to be built just based off of somebody else's blueprint. You don't get all the things you want like that. And so when you have your celebration, essentially, it'll be like a housewarming. It'll be in the home you built, not outside of it. You know? And so I'm just really grateful that you shared. You all are just going to inspire and encourage so many people who are doing it different. I love that you started with doing it your way. So as we move into like love resources, you all have already shared a lot. I'm impressed. I'm feeling like I can feel the years of therapy. I can feel the years of intention. I can hear in your voice all the things you've internalized, the lessons you've learned. And I just want you to share with our audience what tools, resources, books, things have been helpful to you all in your journey of being your own love goals.
You can go ahead with that.
Okay. So I think both of us are definitely going to say therapy. Like therapy has been the biggest game changer for us in our personal walks and in our relationship. And at times different resources at different times. So like Melinda had therapy at one point and I didn't have any therapy. I've had therapy and then she wasn't in any therapy. We've had therapy together and still individual therapy. So like, but therapy has been a thread, and mostly like within the last maybe like 3 years now. Yeah, starting when we were in Tampa, especially. That's the biggest resource. Like it's just so valuable to have an outside perspective, especially when you find a therapist. Lord, I love my therapist. If they ever see this, like I love them down. Like, just having somebody, like give you insights and like just provide that calm and like this voice of reason. And never be on any side, right? But just giving you additional tools like, oh, well, this is what could have been done. This is what you could have pulled from right then, or this is a method that you can take. This is an option, like giving us options, because it's very easy not to see any options, right? Like especially in the heat of emotions. So I would say that, like, invest in a therapist. What other, like, I was going to get into specific like tools, like to bring out of your bag that I've learned from therapy. And one is like in communicating. And I think my friend actually brought this up, and she was reading Kev on Stage and his wife's book. But it has stuck with me like ever since she brought it up. But that, oftentimes we feel like, oh, well, I'm telling the truth. But then there's like there's layers to truth, right? Like I can tell the truth, then I can be transparent, and then I can be vulnerable. And that has resonated with me so much. And I feel like that's what I'm always trying to seek in our conversations, especially tense ones. It's like what's really going on here? Because you could tell me like that made me upset. And then you could tell me that made me upset because like the way you said it. And then you could say that made me upset because the way you said it, and it made me feel like this. It made me feel like you didn't value my opinion, or it made me feel like you didn't think I was doing this. Like that provides so much more detail, right? And that brings me in versus like pushing me out.
Right.
And so that has been like a lovely, lovely tool, something that has stuck with me. I can't, sometimes we can't always access the tool bag, but I have it. I can step back. Like taking a beat is a huge tool. Like just we not getting nowhere. Like let's just stop. Let's just stop. That's the one. Sometimes we need those breaks. So I said a lot. I'll let you go.
Those are great.
Those are so good.
Yeah, I think the therapy is the biggest tool, right? And I was gonna say, I'll say afterwards, like if you don't have the resources to get therapy, but yeah, therapy one, but I think bringing the focus on yourself first. Going into therapy and learning about myself has really helped me show up for my relationship, show up for myself, show up for my family, my friends, things like that. I mean, therapy, man. I never was like, I can't say I was an advocate for it, but I also wasn't like against therapy. I just kind of was neither here nor there. But you don't have to have something wrong with you to talk to somebody, to learn, to gain tools.
That's the word.
but that has been a huge like resource for us in our relationship.
Yeah.
But then if you don't have access, right, or the
Yeah.
resources to be able to have a provider, health insurance, things like that, a big thing for me has always been like journaling or finding your form of healthy
Good.
self-expression. Or whatever that is, if you play music, if you do art, any type of the arts really,
Yeah.
but your healthy form of self-expression. I learned that journaling for me and writing out my thoughts has always been a good tool to just release, right?
I love
Especially
that.
when I'm a thinker and I hold all my thoughts in my mind. And even if, like, even after an argument, I'm like, man, she made me feel like X, Y, and Z. Like, saying this is my way of getting it out versus projecting it onto her or allowing me to, okay, sit back and look like, okay, well, just gain another perspective from it. So,
like checking in with yourself. What's going on with you?
Yeah.
Before you start telling me what I did.
Yeah. I love that. That's a good practice around self-accountability.
And I believe you all have an ebook that includes some journal prompts
that's
for
what Melinda
couples,
just
right?
said. She's like, we have a guide, but I don't know if I want to say. We do.
We haven't really been promoting it as much, but we do have a ebook. It's a guide, and it does help with reflecting, especially within your relationship,
communicating, setting goals together, and just tapping in. Like tapping in is also a tool, right? Like it's very easy to get into the mundaneness of a relationship, in the
going
routine,
through the motions.
And even just checking in of like, how was work or how was this, and like talking about things instead of again like entering into a vulnerable space. Like, how are you feeling? Like, are you getting everything you need? Do you feel nourished? Do you feel loved? Like, do you feel cared for this week? And these are constant things. Like, that's the thing about a relationship. Like, it's never ending. There's no break unless you're breaking up, I guess. But it can feel like a lot, and it can feel constant. But like getting into your flow of what that's going to look like, because it is important. Like, it's important. And even for us, like, we can go like have times where you're going to go through the motion. It's not going to be perfect, and it's not going to be maybe an everyday thing, but tapping into tools like the ebook or like other things. There's tons of, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's called Pause With Me, 21 Days.
Pause With Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll grab the link from you all and put it in the show notes so people can access it.
We'll be sure to send that. But around the theme of just taking a beat, pausing. Like, sometimes you need that. Nothing has to be going on, but it's just good to just take that pause and reflect with each other. Like, how was your day? Things like
absolutely
that, in depth.
Yeah, what's working, what's not working, what do we need to shift and adjust? And like, relationships call for you to be agile. You have to be flexible.
Absolutely.
And appreciate and respect the fact that we aren't going to be the same. Like, we're ever evolving people. Always. Like, what worked last week might not even work this week, and that can be frustrating. Like, some of us, we've learned that too. Like, I have a tendency or a lot more room for that flexibility. Like, my bandwidth is kind of longer than Melinda's, right? Like, she's a little more rigid. But highlighting that, it's like, well, what does that rigidity do for you? How does it impact our relationship? Like, so that's something that, like, you're gonna have to work on, because like, you can't be getting upset at every little thing, or when things don't, like, all of these things. But that's her personally, but of course it shows up in our relationship. So
and you all have been dropping gem after gem. I'm gonna go back when I edit this and be like, there are so many clips. How do I pick the best one? Honestly, you all are full of wisdom. And so even earlier, thinking about how some part of this journey has been intentional, I'm like, it's highly intentional. There have probably just been moments where you all have been just so in alignment that it's felt like flow. And that is just really evident in all of what you all have talked about. Just your level of working on yourself puts you in the right frame of mind to let God come in and do the rest of the co-creation, to be with one another in a very relationship oriented way. It's just very, 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 very beautiful to witness. And Tiffany, you have that truth or truth
I have
question.
the truth question for you all today. So the question is, would you rather fulfill your biggest wish or resolve your biggest regret?
Mm.
That's hard, but I'm definitely gonna say fulfill my biggest wish.
Yeah, I'm like,
definitely.
Let me see. I don't have no biggest regrets. I feel like so it would definitely be to fulfill the wish,
because that's looking back. We got to look forward.
Yeah.
So fulfilling. I don't even know what I can say. Like hands down, my biggest wish is, or like my biggest regret. I don't know if I have a biggest regret, but it is true. Like all of those things taught. Like there were lessons to learn, and or maybe we just didn't have anything that's been so dire in our lives. Yeah, gratefully. Thank God. Yeah, hopefully we never do. So yeah, grateful to say that. But yeah, I think we would look forward. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the wish. But kind of like you, I can't really say I have just a big wish in my mind. I got some wishes. I'm like, which one? Yes, come on. Yeah, I have like huge things.
Yeah, I could tell. I can tell. You all like seem like dreamers. Yeah.
I think
Wow.
I think I would choose I would choose wish too.
Yeah, same. If there were any regrets, there would be times where I was not being my authentic self. That's like the piece. But I get the opportunity to do that now in the present. So like you're saying, I feel that the present moment is what we should focus on, because this is where we create. So I love that. Again, more wisdom from the both of you all.
It empowers you. It empowers you. And I wanted to say, like, I feel like we didn't get into it a lot, but we have had so many challenges. Like we've had like rough times. We've had times where we're like, I don't know. Yeah, like so many times where we didn't know if this was going to work. And we had to like almost like step back and really let each other go. Still together in our way, but like let each other go to where we really just released that pressure, because everything that we were doing wasn't working. So like we've had times where it's like high flow. This feels like one of those times, and that's why it probably did feel really aligned for us to talk. But we're on the opposite side of that, and it's like just down and out, and like in the trenches, like this shit, like what's going on? Like not even understanding why, right? Like don't know what's really out of order, what's not working, like all of these things. It's hard. It's hard. And I think the more we are in this and the more we mature, we have and just go through stuff. We do get better and better at, like being patient. And that again, like with the trusting the process thing, like understanding that even if there is something that does need to change, it's not going to be an overnight thing. Like it's just not possible. As long and this is not even talking about highly toxic like things that people need to get out of, but it's just understanding that like some of these things that we really want in our relationship and expect of each other that have really caused us to butt heads, like that have really been like put us on the brink. I realized like it's really the opposite of like going with the flow. It's because we've been literally against the flow. At times we do need to do that, because it means that we need to create another direction for ourselves. But at times it's just like, like it's not the time. Like it's not the time. Like, she needs to stop doing this, but she's not gonna stop tomorrow. She's not gonna realize on her own. So until she starts going to therapy, and for myself too, right? Like until I like work this out in therapy, it's really not gonna get better. So what can I do? What can I accept? And if I can't accept it no more, then we can talk. Like maybe we don't need to be together no more. So I just want to put that out there, because I feel like we didn't talk about that much, but just know we talk about that on our page a lot, like some of the challenges, things that we have to work through, because it's tough. It's tough.
Thank you for being so transparent. Thank you all for this conversation in general. I feel like I could sit here and talk to y'all for like 10 more hours.
And
we need
do.
FaceTime dates or something.
Yes, we need some FaceTime days. I'm gonna hold y'all to it, because I think that would be great. It's really beautiful listening to other couples that are just so intentional about relationship and understand the importance of doing the work. And so we appreciate y'all. We appreciate you all for being your own love goals and showing up and showing the world what that can look like.
Really quickly, can you shout out your social channels where people can follow you? And then we'll wrap up the episode.
Y'all can follow us both on Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's the same name. It's gonna be at Gennia and Lenny. So GENNIA and AND Lenny LENNY.
Perfect. Yes.
Thank y'all for having
Thank y'all for
Of course.
to be able to talk about to be able to talk about love and what that looks like for different couples. So we appreciate y'all a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we appreciate you all for being here. We're so grateful for you all just giving of your hearts and sharing your love with our audience and your audience and just being your authentic selves. We are definitely going to talk to you all more offline. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. But this has been a beautiful episode of the Be Your Own Love Goals podcast with Moe Ari
and Tiffany.
You all have a great day and be well.
Bye. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Video episodes are on YouTube and Spotify.
If you want your question included in an upcoming episode, feel free to reach out to us on Instagram at Be Your Own Love Goals or check out our website at lovegoalspodcast.com. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
Bye.